Hello, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day. Welcome. You're tuned in live right now to Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Avantii Uzor, and I want to specially invite you to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Today, we're going to have an amazing time on the show. But before I go further, I hope your day has been great. I hope your weekend was great. I hope life is treating you perfectly well, and I hope all is well with you in general. Today I have a special guest on the show that will be joining me, and we'll be talking about understanding your temperament today. What is temperament? How does your temperament affect you, and all of that good stuff? That's what we'll be talking about today. And today I have a special guest, Mrs. Deborah David. Let's welcome her to the show. Welcome to the show, Miss Deborah David.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining
Hello,
us.
everyone.
So that's Miss Deborah David. Who is Miss Can you tell us a little bit more about you? What you do, who you are, and all of that.
So hello, everyone. I'm Deborah David. I'm married to gospel artist Dara David. I'm also Adu David. My favorite color is blue. I'm a child of God. I live in Texas. I'm a teacher. I'm an auditor, event planner, missionary, and I just love God and trying to know more about Him.
So let's talk about you being a teacher.
Okay.
If I gather you, like you actually are a professional teacher and you have some degrees along that line. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
So my bachelor's is in early childhood to 6th grade. So I'm elementary certified, and I also have I'm trained in children's ministry as well.
Children's and teenagers and all of
young
that.
adults.
Young adult ministry. That's awesome. So today we wanted you to teach us a little bit about temperament. I followed you for a minute. I followed your work, and I know that that's something you have a strong understanding about. Can you tell us what temperament is? And I know a lot of people don't really know what temperament is, and they may be like, what is that and all of that. So can you educate us a little bit about temperament?
So for lack of a better word, temperament is sort of like your personality, but it's a bit deeper. Is who you are, is what affects your being, how you react to things, how you think, how you handle situations. Like it is your being. Some people have a quiet disposition. Some people have a loud disposition. Temperament is a bit deeper. It is like who you are as a person.
As a person.
Yeah, it defines a lot of things about you and how you handle things.
Awesome.
And how you think.
Do you think your environment plays a role to your temperament?
In my opinion, a little bit. Like temperament is really who you are, who God made you. That's why I'm not using the word personality. I feel like a person's personality can be affected by their environment or situation, but regardless of what's going on, your temperament will always be your temperament. So not really. Your environment does not really affect your temperament, but it affects your personality.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay. It makes sense, but what's the difference? Can you tell us the difference? I know you said your temperament is like who you are, your being.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that different from your personality?
A personality can be faked, like it can be learned. Okay, let's say I like Mr. Avantii Uzor, like she's very out there, she's outspoken. I like her personality. I stand in front of the mirror when I watch your YouTube video. You're like able be DK, then I do it. I pick up things about you, but a temperament cannot be learned. It's how God made you. It's your stamp. It's your identity. So in my opinion, those are one of the differences. One is learned, one is given. One can be changed. The other one takes God to change your temperament, and we'll talk about that later.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, I love all you just said. So are there different types of temperaments?
Yes, there are actually 4 kinds of temperament, and this teaching has been around for thousands of years. And recently, the philosophers added a 5th one, but it's not quite popular yet.
Really?
So,
what's the 5th one?
I believe it's called supine, but it's not really. A lot of people have not adopted it because a lot of people agree that the 4 is just fine. And apart from the temperament, there are other philosophies that have come out. Some use colors to define temperament. Some use elements like earth and water. But we'll keep it simple and just use the popular ones.
Okay, so there are 4. And what are those 4 temperaments?
So it's sanguine. It is choleric. It is, anybody out there know? Sanguine, choleric, phlegmatic, and melancholy.
Melancholic.
Yes.
Okay, so which one do you want to tell us about first?
I'll start with sanguine.
Sanguine.
And by the way, it is possible to be a mixture of the temperaments, but one will be the dominant and one will be the recessive. So I'll break it down and not use too much big vocabulary. So sanguine, they're like the lively people, the life of the party. They're fun. If you can think about that friend where when you're having a bad day, they can call you and make you happy. Where you can count on them to make your party happy. Where they're just happy-go-lucky people, bubbly people.
Yeah.
Those are the sanguine. And every temperament has a strength and a weakness.
Okay.
Now, the weakness of the sanguine is like sometimes it's hard for them to take things seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes they procrastinate. Sometimes it's hard to make decisions. Because they're like all over the place.
Yeah.
Sometimes they miss the seriousness of things. Because they're always like, oh, okay, you know. There's a sanguine.
Like they're like wildfire. They just want to.
Exactly.
They're excited and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, what's the next temperament we want to talk about?
I'll go the extreme of the sanguine. I'll use choleric.
Choleric.
So choleric are more like natural born leaders. They're authoritative. They like to be in charge. They know what they're go-getters. Like they know what they want. You know, as a teacher, how we even deal with the choleric is different. Like if you want peace, make them like the classroom helper. Give them leadership roles. Now, the flip side, the weakness of the choleric is sometimes they're misunderstood. They're seen as being bossy or like mean, or they don't care about other people's feelings. Some people say they're not emotional. And that, to me, that's not really true. Like everybody has a front, up front. But the weakness up front, that's what you will see. Like, okay, oh, this girl she's so bossy. Or this guy is mean. They're most likely a choleric, but it doesn't really mean that they're mean or bossy. They just appear as being mean and bossy up front.
Up front. So you're a teacher, so you've encountered a lot of personalities or temperaments.
Yes.
Let me use that word. You've encountered different kinds of temperaments.
Yes.
And do you think I'm trying to phrase this question in a way that, do you think some parents don't understand the temperament of their children?
Yes. And let me take a step back as to how I even got involved with knowing about temperaments. Before I got married, I was at a church, RCCG, Pavilion of Redemption, in Sugar Land in Texas. So we had a big young adult group.
Yeah.
And we were, sometimes things were great, and sometimes we would not get along. And I think one day our pastor got fed up, Pastor Adele Corriday, and was okay, I'm going to teach these people this temperament. And he taught the whole church actually. And I can't tell you how we turned everything around. That's why sometimes I have a joke and I say, put me in a room with the devil and we will get along. Because like now I understand temperament. So yes, some parents do not understand their children's temperament. It affects how you will deal with child A and child B. You know, I think we stop at the point of saying, yeah, every child is different. You know, with this child I can just talk and it's straight. But this child has to beat the heaven into that child to listen. Sometimes the temperament plays a role into it. Yes. So please, as parents and anyone listening out there, this topic is very deep. This is just an intro, and we don't want to get you confused. We just want to encourage you to do some more research. And there are lots of Christian books out there, like by Tim LaHaye, I'm not saying his name right. And just Google it, the 4 temperaments, and educate yourself, and as a parent as well.
Awesome. Right now we're going to take a short break and listen to some music, and we'll be right back. everyone, welcome back to the show. If you're just tuning in, you're watching Monday Motivation. I'm your host, Avantii Uzor, and we've been talking about understanding your temperament. We have a special guest right here live with us at the Mega Studio, Mrs. Deborah David. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mel.
Welcome. If you're just joining us, we've been talking about temperaments, like I said. And can you just quickly talk about the first two? For those of them that might just be joining us, quickly tell us what the first two are, like a quick summary.
Sure.
And then we go into the other two.
So we've talked about the phlegmatic temperament and the choleric. So we talked about sanguine
Yes.
and choleric. So sanguine are life of the party, they're lively, bubbly, and then the choleric are like born leaders, authoritative. They take charge, they know what they want, and they go for it.
They go for it.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
now let's talk about the other two
Okay.
temperaments.
So we have the phlegmatic and the melancholy.
Mm-hmm.
So the phlegmatic are like chilled and relaxed people. Like my younger brother, father, he's a sanguine, so he's a phlegmatic. They take life easy. They're not at a rush at all. Now their weakness is sometimes they're prone to procrastination, and sometimes the procrastination is extremely costly. Like they might put away their school, they're educating themselves, or getting married, or making some decisions. But at the same time, they're always at peace with the world and themselves. That you need such people to help us, like, just calm down and realize that, okay, life is not going anywhere.
Mhm.
And like they're very good with enjoying the moment.
In the moment.
Yes. And then the fourth temperament is the melancholy. They're the thinkers. They're very logical. Like, okay, if it doesn't make sense, you're not doing it. So they take risks, but they don't take risks. Sometimes they can be pessimistic because they weigh things like, okay, A and B equals C. Okay, what if C is not equal to B? Like, they think about the risk, and sometimes, so their weakness would be sometimes they over-process things, or sometimes they seem to always be negative,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. So every temperament has its own strengths and weaknesses. And we also want to say there are lots of free tests out there. Just go on Google, study some more, and take some free temperament tests. You should not have to pay. There are lots of them. And you can take a test to score yourself to know what temperament you are. But we're hoping that from this short description, you if you're honest with yourself,
Mhm.
you can start picking out what your temperament is. I
Mhm.
know Mr. Avantii was thinking and say, okay, I think I'm this and that. And I was like, yes, sis, you're right. Because I do know her
Uh-huh.
some, I think. So what temperament do you think you are?
I'm not telling you. I'm sorry, I'm not telling you. But like from what she said, you might have figured out what my temperament is. So look, after we got talking, because I think there was a church program I went to, and you were the speaker, and you thought about temperament. So after that, I went to get me a book. It's called Transformed Temperament. That's a very good book.
Yes.
So I read it and I found out my temperament. So one of the things I found out, because I know this whole temperament thing is very exciting. Once you learn about it, you want to walk around telling everybody, this is your temperament. This is your temperament. That's your temperament. Because you can pick it out.
Yes.
So one of the principles I learned in that book is, unless they ask you, don't tell them. So you don't get into trouble. So unless somebody outrightly comes to you and say, oh, I heard about temperament. Do you know what my temperament is? If they ask you, then you can tell them. But if they don't ask you that, okay, can you tell me my temperament? Do not tell them. So just a little heads
I'll
up.
tell mine. I don't mind.
Okay, so what's your temperament?
So I know my dominant is melancholy.
Mhm.
And then there's always like a little debate if my second is sanguine or choleric.
Okay.
I think the choleric came out just because I'm a teacher and you just always have to be in charge. But I don't think I'm a choleric. I think, and from test also, that
Uh-huh.
first I'm a melancholy and a sanguine to an extent.
Okay.
What do you think?
I actually think you're sanguine.
Okay.
I think your dominant, that's my thinking.
Mhm.
I think your dominant is sanguine.
Oh,
That's what I
really?
think.
Okay.
I think your dominant is sanguine and your second is melancholic.
It's what?
Yeah, that's what I think. So now she wants to make me say mine.
No, you don't have to.
Okay, just so it's a little bit fun. So I think my dominant is choleric.
I agree.
You agree? So I think my dominant temperament is choleric, and I think my second is sanguine.
So when you took the test, what did it?
I actually didn't take the test, but I did a lot of reading,
Mm-hmm.
and I found out, okay, so in this particular book, it talked about 4 different apostles. It talked
Yeah.
about Moses, Paul, Abraham, and who was the last one? I'm trying to remember.
Maybe John.
No. It was, I remember. So it talked about them, and Paul was the choleric.
Choleric, yes.
And he was
Peter.
like, Peter, yes.
was
Peter was a sanguine.
Yes.
Yeah, so that book made me know that, oh girl, you are such a Paul.
Yeah.
And that's one of the people I love the most in the Bible.
And God uses us all with
Yeah.
our temperament.
Yes.
Like if you think about Paul, look at
Yeah.
what he accomplished in the scripture. And look at Peter, when everybody was all scared in the boat. Peter was like, oh wait, is that you, Jesus?
Yes.
Can I come? Can I
Yes,
come? He
yes.
walked on the sea, hopped, like God uses us all regardless of our strengths and our weaknesses. And then he takes our weaknesses and helps us manage them with the spirit, with his fruit of the spirit, self-control.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, or if let's say a friend was like, oh, you are so phlegmatic, don't ever wish, oh, I wish I were choleric. Every temperament has strengths and weaknesses, and God uses it all.
Yeah.
All. So be encouraged.
Yes, and that's why God puts us together too. So that that's why the human nature we're not created to be isolated,
Yes.
because we need people. Like, she is a melancholic, and her nature has helped me out. I'm more of like, I know what I want to go get it, but sometimes I'm not super detailed about it. And during my video shoot, I remember that's gonna let me go into another side of it that we haven't really talked about. She's also an event planner, and she has a events company called Trinity, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, ma'am. Trinity Events.
Trinity Events, and she has helped me out a lot on a couple of my video shoots. My first video in Bedike, she was behind the scenes. I just showed up, and every time she would come to me, she would say, Minister Avantii, so what do you want us to do next? I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. And she'd be like, okay, I think we should do this. I said, okay, that works, let's do it. So the temperament it's really good. And in line with teenagers and even marriage, what do you think? Because you were saying something behind the scenes before we came on air. You were saying something like, a lot of people, if they knew the temperaments before they got into marriage, it would have helped them a lot. Can you expatiate on that?
I see temperaments as a clue that God has given to human beings. And like, for example, I think the rule of thumb is like, too choleric, getting married, just know you have a lot of work to do. Like, one will have to bow down for one. Or if you're a woman and you're choleric, by nature, being that we're African by nature, or how God even has it, that women should be submissive. It doesn't mean you're stupid or anything, just submissive and being humble. If you're a woman and you're choleric, then this is my weakness, I need to work on it. So by clues, I mean, if I know what my temperament is, and you know what your temperament is, it's something we have to pray about and research about before we jump into marriage. And then as teenagers, like you mentioned, if this is my temperament, it helps me decide what careers. There are actually studies out there. It matches your temperament to the careers you should pursue. Like, should you be a nurse, a teacher, a doctor, a host?
Yeah.
And also, it helps you with your friendship. What kinds of friends should I have? What kind of job should I? So it transcends to a lot. And as parents, like you mentioned earlier, helps us to know how we relate with our children. Like right now, we're blessed with a daughter, Divine David. She's 3 years old. We don't hold her down, because we can already see, okay, she has some choleric, and then one more thing. We didn't take a test or anything on her, but we can tell. So we give her a lot of choices. Like, do you want A or do you want B? We don't say, no, it's A.
Because
no,
of
it's
her
the temperament. She's going to fight. And then you're spanking her, and then she's in timeout. But she's not a bad child. She just has a strong personality. So you have to know how to merge. Although there are times where we put our foot down that, no, we're your parents.
Yeah.
You're going to do this, for the sake of school or people that might not understand. So it helps to understand that you're saying we're not isolated. It helps us to relate with everybody and to help us make life decisions, such as who to get married to, what to study, even how to pray and how to dress. It helps you understand why you are the way you are and why you handle things the way you handle things.
That's amazing. And talking about temperament, I know at growing up, I was one of those kids that you had to have a dialogue with me. Not that I was a bad kid, but you can't just come and say nope. And I'll ask you why. Not because because I wanted to understand because that helped me to be focused and to do, to do exactly what you wanted me to do. I remember growing up, let me share this real quick. I share it every now and then. I was always in church, singing and dancing and all that stuff. And my mom would be like, you can't go to church anymore because you're always there too late. Like, not anymore, but your extra activities. Once church is done, let's go home. And I saw her that one day, I'm like, Mom, I have to dance and I have to sing. So what's the issue? Is it that you don't want me to serve God? She said, no, it's just because of the time. I'm worried about your school. And then I said, okay, let's make a deal. What if I can give you all A's? Would you let me do that? And she said, yeah, sure, let's make a deal. And it worked like magic because she allowed me to do my church activities. Every time I came back from church, my head is in my books because I gave her my word and I could not back out on that word. I had to make sure I delivered. So, it's so important as parents to understand the temperament of your children. You will get more from them, even relationships in general. Your spouse and everything. And I feel like we in Africa, we don't pay attention to things like that. So what do you think we could do to make it better?
Well, first, prayer. Everything is by God's grace. And number two, like seeking knowledge and getting understanding. Watch shows like Motivation Mondays. Read books.
Did she just do that? I'm sorry.
Read books, ask questions, go for counseling. And don't be afraid to say sorry. Don't be afraid to say sorry or I was wrong. Nobody knows everything.
Yeah.
Before this, I'm telling you, I have friends that we did not get along with. But after I got this, I was like, oh, that's why. Oh, she's a single. No problem. I wouldn't say that out loud because, like you said, it can be offensive. But once I acquired knowledge, I embraced my strengths and my weaknesses. I'm able to relate better to others.
I love what you just said. You embraced your strength and
weaknesses.
Your weaknesses.
Yes.
So there's nothing wrong with having weaknesses.
Of course.
Right? Is that what I'm gathering here?
Yes.
Because your weaknesses might be a strength in a way as well.
Yes.
So, like for a choleric, one of the weaknesses of a choleric, a major weakness is that they can be emotionally detached when it comes to their goals. It's like, we gotta get this done.
I'm gonna get it done.
Gotta get it done. It's not them being selfish. It's just like, okay, this is what we have to achieve. Can we be focused? Can you put your emotions aside? But the melancholic will feel so hurt and saying, okay, so that's where balance is needed. Like you said, the fruit of the spirit, self-control. And we can only get that by prayer, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and I can give an example.
Yes, please.
My husband is Dara David, and he's a gospel artist.
Yeah.
I won't talk about his temperament. I don't know if you want me to. But you know how, as gospel artists, like, you have to put money into promotion, shoot music videos and things like that. And being that I'm melancholy, I'm always like, okay, babe, let's sit down. Let's plan it out. Okay, if we spend this money, let's say maybe we're trying to buy a house. Can we buy this house? Can we, So God puts you together beautifully. And for those watching out there, even without reading a book yet, from what you've picked up, just from common sense, you can even pick it. You can even try it out. Like, for example, if we're like, what two temperaments do you think will work really nicely well together as married couples? What two couples do you think might not be a good idea to get married using temperaments? How should a parent with maybe a child who's phlegmatic handle that child compared to also having a child who's choleric?
Yeah.
So let's start using this knowledge and wisdom that we're learning, and let's start applying it. And again, please read further and research further. It's much deeper, and it's very interesting.
Let me ask you a quick question in terms of marriage.
Okay.
So what temperament do you think goes better with a choleric?
I'll say phlegmatic.
Phlegmatic.
And then followed by melancholy. And then sanguine.
Sanguine.
Well, phlegmatic first, because phlegmatic, they're chill. Especially if, it doesn't matter who the choleric is. A chilled spouse with a go-getter, I think they're really good. And then a sanguine also, like a choleric, I'm so focused, I want to do this, and sanguine, like, let's have fun,
Let's have fun.
Relax,
Just relax.
And then lastly, a melancholy. So I would say a phlegmatic, a sanguine, and then a melancholy.
Okay, so when are you going to start your counseling school?
Very soon. I'm going to get my PhD by God's grace. Coming soon.
Because she's so great at this stuff. Every time we encounter each other, we just talk and we have fun. Like, we pick each other's brains and we just have fun.
And he started with our pastor, Pastor
Yeah.
Gil Corrende. So pastors out there, or youth ministers, or however you serve, you do make a difference. And God has opened the door, and we go all over the world teaching this. So
Yes.
whatever you find your hands doing, please make an impact and do it right to the glory of God.
Amen. Well, that's been a lot to take in right now. And I think we should take a short break and we'll be right back. See you soon.
See you soon.
Who am I that the highest king would welcome me? I was lost, but he brought me in. Oh, his love for me. Oh, his love for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. Free at last, he has ransomed me, his grace runs deep. While I was a slave to sin, Jesus died for me. Yes, he died for me. Who the sun sets free, oh, is free indeed. I'm a child of God, yes I am. In my Father's house, there's a place for me.
to the show once again. If you're just tuning in, you're tuned in live right now to Monday Motivations. I'm your host, Avantii Uzor, and we are here live at the Mega Studios, Atlanta. And we've been talking about understanding your temperament. This has been an amazing, amazing topic. If you just tuned in, I encourage you to make sure you find a way to listen to it again from the beginning, because it will definitely bless you. We have an amazing, amazing sister in the house. I call her a sister. I'm sorry, because that's what she is. That's what she is to me. She's like my sister, Mrs. Deborah David. Let's welcome her to the show.
Hello.
Welcome to the show once again, Miss Deborah. Thank you so much. She's been educated. Like, I've been taking notes and just asking questions and all that good stuff. Can you do a quick recap of all the 4 temperaments?
Yes,
like real quick, and then we'll go into other things.
Okay, we have the choleric, sanguine, phlegmatic, and melancholy. Sanguine, happy, bubble, happy-go-lucky. Choleric, go-getters, serious, focused. Phlegmatic thinkers. No, phlegmatic, chilled, peaceful, and melancholy thinkers.
Awesome. So if you haven't been watching the show, she went into more details before now, and she gave a little bit of tips on how you can learn more about your temperament. So right now, one of the things she said is understanding temperament has helped her in a missions work. You do a lot of missions, right? So tell us about that. How is it being a wife, a teacher, a mother, and you're doing missions? Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's all by God's grace and having an understanding husband. Like, he doesn't put me down at all. Like, this year we just came back from Korea on missions.
Is that why you have that? I love the Korea.
Yeah, I love Korea. I must speak Korean a little bit. It's my country. So, yeah, just by God's grace. If God has called you, He will give you grace for it. And something I learned that helped me right before I got married. God first, your family second, and then your mission, service God third. So people get it wrong. They want to do God first and then ministry and family. No. Your first ministry is your family. God, family, ministry.
Wow.
All by God's grace.
So tell me about your mission trip. So what do you do? What's the mission about? What do you do?
So it's called Trinity. It's Trinity Missions, but we're Trinity Missions and Outreach.
Okay.
What we do is locally, we're based in Texas. By God's grace, we feed the homeless. We go out on evangelism. We help churches start up their mission department.
Okay.
And then internationally, we go to Honduras, where Eagle Believers is another ministry in Louisville, Texas. When we go, we focus mainly on the children's ministry aspect of it. We minister to the children, evangelize, train them up, disciple them. We have a calling to East Asia, which is Korea, Japan, China. We go minister to the children, train the teachers, start up children's department. We do that locally as well, and just so many more as God leads us.
So what is one of the most I'm trying to look for the right words. What's one experience, like life transforming moment that you've had on any of your mission trips?
Yes. I have 2.
2, go ahead.
So
one
was I have 3 actually.
Bring it on.
It was when we were in Belize. So I'll be really quick. There was a home there in Belize where a lady just started a ministry, and she takes in children or teenagers who were pregnant, were kicked out of the home, and she houses them. They go to school, they come back, ministering to those teenagers and their children, and seeing them accept Christ. That was major for me. And then number 2, when we're in Honduras, there was a really poor neighborhood. They've been beaten up by gangs, fathers in jail, and all that. And it was really hot. Everyone was sweating. We had too many kids and parents beyond room capacity. And just seeing them come out to accept Christ, that was amazing. And then 3rd, Korea, we visited an orphanage. And we did one of the things we do is called the Wordless Book. It's one of the training we received from CEF, Child Evangelical Fellowship. And we use the Wordless Book to teach the children about the love of God in heaven and hell and salvation, and seeing the so-called orphans receive Christ and receiving a new parent as God is their father and their mother. That was major for me.
That's major enough for me, because one of the things people don't understand, there's a void in the heart of an orphan. Once somebody's an orphan, they feel like they have a disadvantage in life, because they're like, oh, I would have been this if I had a parent. I would have been able to achieve this if I had a parent. Maybe my life would have been better if I had a parent. And the only person that can fill that void, I call him a person because he is the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
And the knowledge and the love of God. That's why if you read through your Bible, God is so, like, orphans are so dear to him.
Yes.
Because he is a heavenly father.
Yes.
And he knows how a child or a person longs for a father. So this is me telling you right here, it doesn't matter. You might not be an orphan, because some people have parents, but it's as if they are orphans.
Yeah.
So you may not be an orphan, you may have a parent, but I want you to know that God is a father.
He is.
He is. You can depend on him. If you feel the void in your heart every now and then, it's okay to go before him and pray and cry and say, God, I miss my mom. Actually, I did that a couple of days ago. I was driving and I just felt this overwhelming. I'm trying not to get emotional. Well, Avantii, don't cry. You're on TV. And I was feeling very emotional. And I'm like, I miss my mom. And, I started worshiping and I felt the love of God. And I said, God, thank you. Imagine if I didn't know God. So God bless you for what you're doing, because teaching those children about Christ, you've just changed their whole world. He can fill that void that they feel in their heart. That longing for a parent. Now you've let them know that they have a God. So God bless you.
Amen.
And while she was speaking right now, this is not part of the script. She doesn't know I want to do this. She has no clue. And we've never done this on the show. But God just dropped it in my heart that if you want to support her mission work financially, we're going to put up her information on the screen. Whatever God is placing in your heart to be a blessing to what she is doing. You may never be able to go to Honduras or to go to South Korea or to go to any of the places she's going to. But your money can help her. So I'm going to put her information on the screen. You can sow into her ministry. You can sow into the mission work. And the Lord will bless you. I love orphans. Once you mention orphans, you've gotten my heart. So, just be a blessing. And God will bless you as well.
Thank you.
There's been so much, but I don't want to go before we talk about your events thing that you do. I know you have an events outreach as well. So tell us more about that.
So it's called Trinity Events and Consulting. By now you pretty much know everything about us is Trinity something.
Yes.
So we're certified. I went back to school and got my MBA and also got certified to be an event planner. So we coordinate, we plan events. We also provide childcare at events. We decorate. We do the staging. We do food services. I'm also a certified food handler.
Wow,
You can
awesome.
visit our website, eventsbytrinity.org.
Awesome.
We're based in Texas, but we travel Florida, Atlanta, Korea. We travel all over the world, Nigeria, Africa. And we're very affordable. It's run as a business, but we received a heart of it to be like a help ministry. Because personally, I don't think it should cost like an arm and a leg just because you're trying to get married.
Yeah.
So everybody's calling is different. So we're affordable, we're professional. We have a team of 10 ladies. We have fun, and we bring a touch of perfection to your event by God's grace.
Awesome. And I'm going to chip it in. I know she didn't talk about the music video part.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't just do events, wedding, birthdays, and all that stuff. Like, anything you want to do. Like, she has helped me in quite a number of my videos. I just call her and I'm like, sis, I want to shoot this video. Please, what do we do? And she's always there. And one of the things I love about their work is the pillar is God. So you're going to be rest assured that when you work with them, God is going to be part of that event, because they will move as led by the Spirit, and it's always been great. So thank you so much. I feel like giving her a hug. Is it okay if I give her a hug? Thank you for having me. So can you tell the people something in Korean? Yeah.
안녕하세요. 저는 데보라입니다. 지금 아반티 친구예요. 너무 행복해요. 예수님 사랑해요. 안녕.
Wow. Okay. Translation.
안녕하세요 means hello in a formal way. I said right now with my friend Avantii. I said I'm very happy to be here and Jesus loves you. Bye.
Awesome. We've had so much fun in the studio today. Thank you so much once again for joining us. And remember, Jesus loves you.
Yes.
He's the reason why we're doing this. Above all, we want you to be blessed, to be motivated, to be inspired. Keep moving. Don't stop. no matter the hurdles or the challenges you face in life, no matter what it is, I want you to know God loves you. Jesus loves you. It doesn't matter if you've suffered rejection. I don't know why I'm going this route, but I feel it's for somebody. You've suffered rejection, you've suffered any kind of loss. Whatever it is, know that God has a purpose for your life. Depend on Him, rely on Him, and trust in Him, and He will see you through. God bless you. Till we'll see you again next week. It's your girl Avantii, and you're watching Monday Motivation. God bless you. Bye.
Annyeong.
Annyeong.